Well, good evening. You're very welcome to the Masters Championship for round number 11 of Division 2 here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. My name is Graham. I'll be bringing the action tonight from a track, well, it's not short on drama, that's for sure. You get some good races here, and tonight is going to be no exception to that. For clarity's sake, there is going to be a mad rush to get out of the pits, because I can tell you there is some rain coming in this session very, very quickly. So a couple of people out on softs want to get their laps in as soon as possible. The beginning of the race, I believe, is dry, but yeah, mad rush to get out as quickly as possible to try and beat the rain. So that's where we stand. The two Mercedes here are flying out first. Thomas ahead of his teammate Sygate there. They've haven't really given themselves a lot of space, so we might just kind of fly through the action now, and when things quieten down a little bit with the rain, I'm sure there'll be some person who doesn't decide to retire, and then we can go through some of the standings, some of the changes. But for now, it's going to be pretty thick and fast as the clouds kind of gather over this great track. Really, it's not without its challenges for sure. This hairpin traction coming out of it can definitely be an issue. Obviously, turn 1 is a big issue as well, but we can get to that in good time as Thomas makes his way down towards turn 8. Ooh, may have cut the corner a bit there. See if he finishes the lap, but he does go purple through the second sector. Obviously, he's the first one to do it. Still on hot lap, so he's got a bit of track in front of him. To keep it is there. I think is that a drop of rain? That is, yes, the rain has already arrived, so it's going to be thick and fast, the action here. But yeah, let's see what Thomas can start off with then. He shouldn't be too affected by this rain near the end of this lap. It's a 11.7. His teammate Silas does a 12.3 rather, as you can pick up someone on the next closest to is Adi Baba. He's just beginning his lap. His teammate, however, is on a lap. There's a Haas in front as well, so fourth, but now Tom Pretty replaces him into third place with Tom. Let's see if we can pick up someone quickly. There goes Sway. I just had to find Sway. He's gone up to 6th place on hards as well, so maybe again, this is not a bad. That's not a bad gamble, to be fair. If you can survive with the rain obviously getting heavy and heavier, owes a car off, is there? As Kieran Trapp goes into 7th with a 15 seconds so slowest of the bunch so far, and Yarm then goes into 2nd place, 12.1. The race to get times in as quickly as possible before the rain disrupts everything too much. Tom Pretty goes 8th, and now it's going to be difficult where there's someone in the wall, is there? Yeah, it's either been Mike, he's into the wall, but here comes the keeper then. Lap times getting increasingly slower. 13.6 for the keeper. It's good enough for the top 10 for now. Two Mercedes, they will have been on cooldown laps. I think that's going to be basically it for them. There's a Ferrari. It was Silas. He's in 15.1 then. So that's it for Kieran Trapp. He's retired then from this session. Oh, there is all sorts of carnage, but I think there's still time to set laps though. You kind of have to, because I mean, if you don't set them now, there's still like what, 2, 3, like a good chunk of the grid have not yet set a lap time. But again, the nature of this track, turn 1, if you invalidate, and if you did invalidate, then that's basically it. I mean, the track is, no one's going to be touching a 15.7 now at this stage, and everyone should just be better off retiring really. But here's unsafe release. He's going to try and finish lap, see what the track has deteriorated into then as he comes across the line. It's a 16.7. That kind of just shows you the conditions, kind of where the track is at, and I think that's basically it. Yeah, good luck trying to improve. So now that everything's kind of calmed down, we'll try and find a car on track if we can, just for the sake of having something to show here. So I think it's Silas. So with that then, I'll just have a quick check of the standing. So after the last round, Team C Corbo is leading the way with 1 point ahead of Team C Yarm in 2nd, and Sway is in 3rd on 91 points. Yarm just 126 points there, and then Stevie G in 4th, 62 points. He is not here tonight. We'll get to that in a sec. Sygate is in 5th place on 59 points. In the Constructors, Racing Point have a lead of 188 points as their total. Their lead on Alfa Romeo in 2nd is 37 points. Alfa Romeo 151 in 2nd, and the Mercedes then in 3rd, 1 point ahead of McLaren, 110 and 109 points respectively for those two sides. Yeah, plenty of people, well, some people still wander around on track, but not much point really as a Mercedes on track. He's just retired now. Saige's retired on track. I'm not sure that was still allowed, but yeah, we should be seeing people retiring thick and fast. And in terms of the changes for tonight, so Captain Chubbs is reserving here for F1 AMG 44. That's Dame Miles. Dame, I just call him Dame, is reserving for Stevie G. And then Big Shotta has replaced PFC Steve in... Where is he? He's in the Toro Rosso. So that's the change there. And, I mean, yeah, here we go. Like, it was always going to be a quick scramble. Some interesting choices made for sure. So plenty of different strategies up in the air here. I believe it's a dry start, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this all unfolds during this race. And I'm afraid there's not much else to look at really, because everyone else is in the pits. Everyone else would be better off just retiring at this stage, so we can you know, forego these last 10.5 minutes, because really there is absolutely 0 point in sitting here. But hey, I'm sure it will happen. I'm sure it will happen. Just 3 left to go. Again, not much else to say here, but if yeah, rain continues to pour, and if the last 3 cars would like to retire, you know, we could, you know, actually do something instead of sit here looking at ever increasingly wet pit lane and the crowd chanting at absolutely nothing. That would always be appreciated. So come on, chaps, let's pull the finger out and get this done. There's only so much we can do. Ugh. Please. I'm asking nicely, if you would like to retire, it would be beneficial to the 16 other people here. There's one. Come on. I don't want to listen to this crowd all day gasp at rain. This is not beneficial to anyone. This benefits no one. Unless you're dying for a bathroom break, but I mean, come on. You should be ready by now. Yeah, just, are you having fun? Because I'm having lots of fun. This is exactly what I wanted to do with my Wednesday evening, was sit here and look at the pit lane for the last 10 minutes of qualifying. Wasn't that what you want to do? Isn't that why you're here right now? Because why else would you be here? I don't know. Not to see racing. No. Why would you want to see any of that? No. We can look at a wet pit lane for the next 7.5 minutes, unless sanity prevails. And you know what? I'm not 100% sure it is at the moment. Where is YouTube? YouTube, my phone is working so slow. If you write a comment, and I'm going to read it in a sec. You better have been good, because I need the entertainment right now. Everyone does, let's be honest. So, if you wouldn't mind giving me something to look at, please. Yes, one more. One more, please. And we're just there. Come on. We're so close. Hey, there we go. Thank you very much. Right, so Thomas is on pole position ahead of Yaram in second place. Saige then his teammate is on third. Tom Purdy fourth. Team C Corboy in fifth. Jan in sixth. Sway seventh. to keep it 8th, Ripper 9th, Adibaba rounds out the top 10. So, but plenty of interesting tyre choices. Adibaba has put himself in a tough spot there in 10th place on those soft styles to get away with it. But at least the top 4, at least, you know, everyone else in the top 10 on softs, you know, they at least put themselves into the necessary track position. At least they can try and do something from there. To the YouTube comments, I've finally seen you. Hello, how are you doing? I am doing well. I'm better now that this qualifying is finally this qualifying's over and done with. So yes, it is dry to start, but I believe there might be some rain later on. I have all the sources that you don't. So we'll see what the guys do with tyres. I wonder, see if I'm led to believe the rain will be here in the latter part of the race. So do you risk it then going long on hards, and risk then the rain coming out by the time the end of your hard stint comes and your tyres are absolutely knackered, and then in ours, those are the worst tyres to be on. The worst tyres to be on before the end of the the crossover, so to speak, are those ancient tyres, and it's hard to tell with the lap times. Like, well, am I struggling because my tyres are absolutely shot, or is the track getting too wet? So it's tough to say, but safe option might be mediums, and then take your pit stop and then just kind of go from there. At least you have the security then, whatever happens of your tyre situation. So majority of the field outside the top 10 have gone for mediums. Chubbs and Awesome Dude are the only ones outside the top 10 to select the hard compound tyres. I wouldn't say the softs really make much difference for strategy for these guys, because you're probably going to put on hards anyway. What was to keep us left to set up, he can get back in his car quickly. But yeah, because these are only going to last a few laps, and then you're going to be basically the same boat as Sway, Awesome Dude, and Chubbs on hards. Unless you can get 6 or 7 laps out of those softs, maybe you might have a chance, but to be in a bit of a better position. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But for now, Thomas is going to be leading them around. Maybe wants to back up a little bit there, but yeah, Germany always has the potential for madness, and I think we're going to see some today. But 34 laps for us to do so. DRS trains, hard to break here. You really need to be within DRS. If you're not, then you do risk losing touch with the cars ahead of you if they are out of your range, and it can be tough to recover from there. So we shall see. I'm fascinated to see what the weather throws. If how much of the difference of tyres, how much it will come to the fore. I do think the mediums are safe, but we'll see when this rain comes and how quickly it comes. So that's the thing, the rain might come, but how quickly will it take for the crossover point to actually occur? That is a big question as well. Just because it rains doesn't mean you just bolt on a set of intermediates. You do have to wait until it is the right time to do it, otherwise you are cooking on a track that isn't wet enough, and your tyres will be hosed. Water puns. Our last race winner, Kieran Topic, got a lot of work to do from P12, but if anything can happen, we know it is at Hockenheim. Right then, short run down to turn 1. See if Yarm can get the jump on Thomas. Will go on board with Sygate to start, and a good P3 for him, but of course on the soft compound tyres. The last thing these guys want to get swamped into the midfield with these tyres. Here we go then, 5 red lights. And away we go. Looks like a good start for Thomas out front. He's going to be challenging. He's going to be unchallenged down towards turn 1. Yarm side by side with Sygate. Sygate swoops around the outside. They all run wide at that turn 1. But relatively smooth racing from everyone as they head down towards turn 2 for the first time. Oh, late on the brakes. That was Jan. And he's gone a bit wide. He's gone for a spin as well. And in the background, to keep it in, get back in time. But they go through then. And Ripper Rake looking to try and overtake in front of him, as well as Yarm trying to make a move for P2. Take that back from Sygate. He dips to the racing line rather. Sygate on the inside goes deep. Oh, he's hit the back of that Mercedes, but he's still running side by side. You can see plenty of action in the background as well. We're going to stick with this though. Yarm, you have the racing line. Oh, contact between the two. And Yarm, can he hold it? He does hold it. So somehow, I'm not sure if he's got wing damage, as Adibaba and Jan squabbling for P5 there. I'm not sure if Jan got damaged, but he certainly got the move back on Sidegate. That's be big for him. Solid pumpkin helmet there as always for Joe as they got wide, and that's Toro Rosso. Is that big shotter? No, it's there's definitely wing damage. Someone definitely got caught up. I think it's yeah, it was Sway. He got caught in some contact. I think it may have been Big Shotter. We kind of got out of shape heading into the stadium section, but they lead through then on to lap 2 at 34. This corner then you can see Ripper Rick under strain big time. He's got all of his front wing, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but yeah, action packed first lap, and Sway's into the pits on his hards, and maybe that might be a blessing in disguise, but we'll have to find out a little bit later on in terms of the weather as they head down towards turn 6 for the second time. Then Joe, the slipstream of Jan, will he go for a move? Jan holds the center of the track, unable to squeeze through. There is Joe, and we've got the 2 Ferraris. Have we got squabbling? That's for P14. Contact between the 2. That doesn't help anyone. Meanwhile, Captain Chubbs is behind Big Shot, who does have damage on that wing. So I did see someone's wing fly off there, and definitely Big Shot's was certainly one part of it, as Team C Corby all over the back of Jan. This is for the highest run. This is effectively for the race lead right now, as yellow flag in sector. That's the other Toro Rosso. Awesome dude, he is off. He's had a spin. I'm not sure if he'll retire from there, but you can see Sway far behind there. So Joe, this is for the effect of race lead on mediums anyway, because again, soft runners will be peeling in fairly soon. And if anything, Jan is going to try and turn defense into attack, as Adi Baba right there. See if he's got any damage to that wing. It doesn't look like it, but those softs, as Bomber is out and the virtual safety car has been deployed. Now, how long will this last for? Of course, the race is nullified for now. People have to adhere to the delta. If they speed it, that's a drive-through penalty. So, gets a chance to kind of catch the breath a bit and see some of the position changes. There they are. Adi Baba, big winner there. And of course, he started down in 10th on those softs, but he's definitely made it work for himself so far. Big gain there for Captain Chubbs as well. Kieran chop up a few spots as well. So, plenty of losers though. Team C Corby down a few spots. Silas as well to keep it obviously down a few, because he has disconnected, but he looks like he's got back in. But will this BSC last until the pit lane here? Allow these soft runners a bit of time maybe. Someone might think about it, try and ditch those, and Unsafe Race has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so that won't do him any good there in P12. But the race is back underway, and the top 3 and 4 still on softs, the top 5 even, so they've made that jump work, and Joe is still stuck behind Jan here. Get dirty air washing through that last corner. It's Kieran trapped behind Ripper Rick, heading into turn 1. Gets the car slowed down nicely. Baba already has a 3-second penalty, and Silas has got through. Dame has got through on Silas, so maybe a mistake for Silas there, because the last corner is not an overtaking spot per se, but actually the lead actually is getting pretty interesting, as Yarm dips to the right hand side, tucks back into the left hand side as Thomas tries to cut her off. And down the inside, no, he tucks in, and Yarm has got the move done, so Yarm then moves up into the lead of this race. Again, big queue here. He's got his Adi Baba, Jan and Joe, and then contact between Kieran Trapp and Ripper Rick as they exit the hairpin, but Kieran Trapp is through and he is into 8th place and continues to chase his compatriot Joe Corboy for P7. But definitely bottleneck is happening, because Adi Baba's softs, he is definitely well behind the rest of the soft runners, and as those tires begin to go off, that queue is going to be increasing behind them. So it's important for these guys, Jan, Joe and Kieran Trapp and Ripper Rick, when they catch up to the back here, that they dispatch that Red Bull as quickly as possible and that progress isn't delayed, because this is the worst thing that could happen for them. While those softs, and Tom Petty is into the pits then as Yarm sets the fastest lap, so the worst thing that could happen for those guys is that the lead continues to increase as Jan is going to go down the inside of turn 1, risky overtaking spot, but he's backed off. Somehow they managed to make a boat through, and Joe Corby's going to benefit from that failed attempt into turn 1. The contact, but he's through, and Joe will pick up the DRS as well. So Tom Petty on hards comes out then. It looks like a P15, and Joe looks like 2 positions in 1 for him. Contact between the 2, and will Jan try and make it 3 wide? It's a dangerous place to leave the car, and Joe Corby's into the wall. and he's lost part of his front wing. That was suicidal. 3 cars are never going to work down there. 5-second penalty for good measure, but look at the cut back onto the track. But he's definitely missing a lot of his front wing. That was suicide by Jan, I thought, to keep his car in there. I need to see it again, but it was definitely very, very dangerous to put his car in there. And yeah, the end result is as you see, but it's a long race, plenty still to race for. So hopefully Joe will carry on, but he's going to have to go back to the pits to replace that wing. Meanwhile, at the front, Yarmas absolutely pulled away, 2.4 seconds, and Sygate's now through on Thomas. Oh, he was going to go into the pits, but he had to bail on because his teammate was going in as well. How fitting that it was a Mercedes, had to bail on going into the pits there, but that's what track position will do for you. You get the first run into the pits, as Yarmas also going into the pits as well, so now the lead has changed. Thomas in the front, and then he's got Jan, Kieran Trapp and Ripper Rick chasing him then. So where will they come out? So Yarmas come out on mediums, and he's going to come out just behind the keeper then. There he is. Where is Sygate? He is making a meal of that exit, but he's back into 12th. As the keeper then trying to get by the other Racing Point. Yarm right behind this as well. You got to be careful. His teammate for tonight is there as well. No DRS in that other Racing Point. But DRS for that McLaren is also Yarm on the racing line. Can he get the car slowed down, go around the outside, a little bit of contact? He'll have the better run. The racing line belongs to Yarm, and he goes through there now. Will the keeper try and fight this back into turn 8? The breaking point of turn 8. He's too far back. As you see again, Kieran Trapp on the back of that Haas of Jan. Hustling and harrying with a good amount of ERS as well. So he's in a good spot here. Is Kieran Trapp. As Tom Pretty moves through on Silas. Tom Pretty, of course, has made a stop onto fresh hards going long into this race, and then Thomas comes into the pits. So this now becomes a battle for the race lead for now. So interestingly, Yarm's gone for a set of the mediums. That has a yellow flag, but it looks like it's clear, and the 3-second penalty for Kieran Trapp. That will not help in his chase for the lead, but he should be able to get by this lap though. And Ripper Rick right there behind. Always get out there to try and avoid hitting into the back of that Renault. And Catherine Jones right there behind here on hards as well. DRS open onto that Renault. Beautiful shot. It should be a fairly simple move for Kieran Trapp to make. And will Ripper Rick try and follow through as well? He sticks his car in there, a bit of contact with Jan. And Ripper Rick is somewhat contentiously through on that. And it's coming together. Sygate and Tom Pretty, and Thomas is right there. There's also 2 Mercedes right out together. Soft for Sygate. He's gone very aggressive on that strategy, and is ahead of his teammates, so he's got to make up places quick on that strategy. Oh, big moment there for Jan. He managed to catch it. Good catch for him heading into the stadium section. That could have been disastrous for him right there. But he still has it. Man, it's great. I have to say, this has been frantic stuff. So Yarm is obviously going for a 2-stop, or at least try and wait this out onto a set of wait it out until the rain comes out. Sygate is nailed to a 2-stop. There's no way. There might be even little chance he's going to get those softs to the rain. I would say there's no chance he get those softs to the rain. So he's maybe a mistake by his pit crew or something, but yeah, not the ideal strategy for himself. As a Yarm already come. Look at this, like he's only 7.1 seconds behind Kieran Trapp, and he has made a stop, and he's on fresh mediums. So his pace is blisteringly quick. As meanwhile, we're going to have a change of position here between the two Haas's. Chubbs on Jan and settles in. Jan does not have a ton of ERS to fight, and he slips in then, and Yarm is ahead of Iverbrin Mike, and he moves into P5 then. Can chase after the Haas himself, the Haas pair. So of course Chubbs is on hard, so maybe just showing Chubbs' pace a bit more strong at this phase of the race than his teammate on those mediums. You want to be taking those mediums a bit further than that, but yeah, and a big shot up. He's Jamaican a move on Silas there for 14th, so through he goes. As well, Sygate hasn't really caught up a ton, has he? He's still got his teammate for good company. This could work out really well for Thomas if he just uses his teammate just to drag him along with the DRS, if he can handle it through the corners. Oh, but understeering through the stadium section there as they go through the Sachs curve. But if he can follow his teammate through, that'd be big for him on the hard. So just has to stick within that second though, hasn't he? If he can do that, well, he's got a chance, hasn't he? As a Yarm picks up penalties, so penalties flying in thick and fast, and you would imagine that will continue to be the case for the majority of this race as people find the limits with turn 1. DRS for Ripper Rick. Kieran Chaff having to use overtake to try and respond, but he looks like he should have enough heading into this turn 6 hairpin, and he does indeed, at least for now, as Silas looking to try and make a move himself on Dame, or Dime, I have no idea, but I was going to say Dame. Oh, into the wall! And he's lucky not to collect the other Mercedes. I'm not sure, looks like there was contact between the two, but somehow he's not out of this race. I have no idea why, but the safety car is out for that accident. That was a huge accident. How is he still in this race? I have no idea. It's a miracle, first of all, that Thomas managed to avoid that, but second, no idea how that car isn't wrecked beyond repair. But anyway, safety car is out, and that is not good news for, well, loads of people really, but good news for Saigate actually, because he can get off these tyres right now, which I think is the wise thing to do, because let's be honest, those tyres aren't making it anywhere. And there's a nice gap behind, you know, he could fit into, you know, the field is going to bunch up again. And so you've got pitters here already, so here we go then. Ripper Rick and Jan into the pits. Kieran Trapp carries on. Captain Chubbs obviously carry on his hard, so looking well for the hard runners who started the race on the hards. And big shotter, the drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. So fresh mediums then. Hards going on Ripper Rick's car, but mediums going on Jan's car to keep it. Medium tyres for him. Ivor Mike is on mediums as well. Lots of pit activity. Hard for Saigate. Good idea to get off of those hard tyres. Anyone else? Dame and Silas are into the pits as well. Adi Baba onto the soft. That's a bold one for him. Softs as well for Big Shot. So again, aggressive strategies going on throughout the field here as the safety car is out in this race to well, after that big accident. So where does this leave us? Where does this leave us then? So Chubbs and Kieran Trapp are the only ones who have not made a stop. Kieran Trapp is on the mediums. Chubbs is on the hards. So it's worked out well for him so far. And in terms of tyres, there's a situation. They're quite old. They're 9 laps old, the two of them. Everyone else is kind of pitted in the last, few laps. A lot of people have made a second stop. Well, sorry, a few people made a second stop. A lot of people made their first stop just here now. A couple of laps ago, and then obviously some people taking the opportunity to dive in. And so Ripper Rick is good to the end of this race, basically, no matter what happens with the rain. Jan, again, we don't know when this rain is coming, but I know it's coming somewhere near the end of this race. So most people went for fresh mediums, a bit mix on the hard, and a few even on soft. So Silas and Dame here looks like they've come out on the soft car. And there's no racing on the safety car. I'm not sure what is going on here. Driving under the safety car is fairly straightforward, but overtaking, as Big Shot has done here, I didn't think it was permitted. Maybe it's a bit of rust. Oh, he's diving into the pits, getting rid of these softs, so maybe a mistake then at the pit stops then for a Big Shotter. But he's coming into the pits. I can't believe he got away with making an overtake under the safety car. That's mad. But he did, and no penalty for it either, looks like. So he's coming into the pits for a set of medium tyres. But he will drop to the back of the grid with that as where's the safety car? There it is. So I think Kieran Trapp may have missed a trick here. We don't know when the rain is coming, but it doesn't look like it's coming in the next few minutes at least. So on those mediums, you think he may have made a mistake because the pit stop to the next 10 laps. That's still more likely going to put him close to the back, and if this rain comes, everyone else is going to have to make a stop. Now, obviously, the reverse could be true. You could be gambling in the sense that, well, if this rain isn't hard enough to warrant a set of intermediates, then everyone else's tyres, everyone else, a lot of people here, if these are the tyres, if we don't get to that crossover point in this race, collision there at the back of the grid. If you don't get to the crossover point in these tyres, we don't have to go to intermediates. There's a lot of people here going to be on A, very old tyres, or B, will have to make second pit stops. So, it is really TBC for a lot of these strategies, because we just have to wait and see how this all unfolds. And the safety car is in at the end of this lap, so that means Kieran Trapp is the de facto pace car. And for everyone, safety car is not that hard to understand, because the new rules for 2019 came in. There's no safety car line. You cannot overtake before a safety car line. The new safety car line, where green flag racing continues, is the start-finish line. But people have an amazing job of getting that. So Kieran Trapp could just literally just back them up right now as oh wow, he's got a 5-second penalty as Captain Chubbs for Exceed track limits, that'll be harsh. I'm sure that'll be removed. But we are away once again, and no DRS, I believe, enabled in these first few laps. And Chubbs goes very, very wide. He's even wider. That's the racing point of Yarm, and Thomas has got through Jan and Ripper. Oh, there's all sorts of action. It's many, many wide. You can see as he snake through Ripper Rick then ahead of Jan, but at the front. Overtake mode enabled for Captain Chubbs. He's going to try and make a run at this race lead. He's on the hards. Kieran Chopper's not gone defensive and down the inside. Chubbs will go. These two have come together of late, and Chubbs parks his car and he is through Yarm, taking that place back from Thomas. And Tom Pritchie's got through on Jan then, so plenty of positions swapping around. I'm surprised Sway didn't pit there actually, now that I've seen him, but oh, Jan tries to sneak around the outside into turn 8. Is there space? There's a car on his outside as well. Into Keepa. Can Keepa hold around the outside? He can. That's a good. He held that, didn't he? You see the throttle was pretty much planted. Oh, he's left the space. Oops, wrong one. Still be side by side as they head towards the Sachs curve. Someone on the outside's going to have to yield here. Yeah, and Keepa is through. So, Commission driving from Keepa there has earned up a spot into 7th place. Yeah, a little surprised that Sway didn't come in actually. Oh, contact between Thomas and Yarm. And that's going to allow Ripper Rick to just try and have a think. Stephen through in the middle here. Thomas is through. Oh, he's left his car in an awkward place. There is a little bit of contact, and that has led Ripper Rick or Tom Pretty through. Jan has gone through because the keeper has made a hash of turn 1 himself, trying to avoid all the action. But there's absolute carnage, and another safety car is out. Big shot is sped into the pit lane. I assume there was damage, and another safety car is out. There's absolute carnage. I'm sorry if I missed something, because it's just impossible to keep up with this race. Oh, there's more contact. It is just, look at this. It is not ending. It is not ending. Look at this absolute mayhem. Look at the mayhem. Unbelievable. There is so much going on. I have no idea even where to start. Everyone just butchered. Like, that seems to be the big problem was, well, part of it was Yarm and Thomas. There was some sort of contact made into the last corner. That definitely slowed both of them down. Ripper Rick made a little bit of contact with with Yarm into turn 1. And I think it was just a big snowball effect from there, basically. Yeah, absolutely mad. But we have another safety car, so that means Big Shotta is handed a reprieve here. I'm guessing he had to change a wing. Excuse me, but he's gone back onto the U set of mediums here, at least. They'll get him fine. There's only 2 laps on those, so they won't be too bad. But now, will Kieran Trapp come into the pits this time? As Dane was kind of retired, by the way. I have no idea what happened to him. Absolutely no idea. There's too much going on at the front of the field, so... oh, another penalty for Big Shotta for speeding under the safety car. You gotta slow down, son. Gotta head here into the Delta. You might get a swap at this rate. So Jan is into the pits. Has he got damage? Adi Baba is in as well. He's serving a penalty then as well. No wing change for Adi Baba, but he does go to another set of softs. There's a front wing change going on in the Haas, so yeah, contact, I'm sure. Yeah, wow. I mean, we're only lap 14 and 34, and every minute we spend under a safety car, that weather comes closer and closer and closer. Again, I'm my sources are well placed about rain in this race, so I believe it is coming. The longer we spend on safety car conditions, the more likely it is to appear, and that's the worst news then for guys like Kieran Trapp, guys like Sway, who you know, would, I'd say, benefit from having it not rain, and obviously everyone else having to come in and make a second stop, whether it be on mediums can't get to the end, or softs can't get to the end, or on very old hards near the end of the race. So see, it is getting cloudier and cloudier. It wouldn't surprise me if it did start raining pretty soon. But Captain Chubbs now is the race leader. Let's just try and so there's a situation with pit stops, a couple of drive-throughs to serve even still. I think Richie Davey might have, or Big Shotta rather, might have tried to serve his drive-through under safety car conditions, but you cannot do that. You cannot serve a drive-through under safety car. You can serve a 5-second stop-go under safety car, but you cannot serve a drive-through under safety car conditions. That you can't do. Oh, it's more contact. Guys, driving behind a safety car is not hard. But maybe that's what the issue was. So let's just see the position change. There you go. So, big gainers, but of course, they have Kieran Chopper and Captain Chubbs have yet to pit. Ripper Rick gained a few spots. Everyone else basically in the top 10 has lost spots basically. But Yarm's looking pretty good here. Thomas looking pretty good here as well on their hards. Obviously they've made pit stops. So and Adi Baba's into the pits again, and he's serving his penalty, and he's got a wing to change as well. Is this his 4th stop, maybe? We've got a few going 3 stops now, but he's on to the mediums, and that's fair the best. For the best, he's on mediums, and he's got a bit of catching up to do if this safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap. We'll see what the story is with that, but yeah. Whew. Oh man, this is a it's been a tough one to keep up with, but anyways, I'm expecting turn 1 this first lap to be absolutely manic once again, but again, a bit trickier for these guys on the harder tyres. Again, you gotta get some sort of temperature into them. Everyone struggled last time, you know, with the restart, like through some of these higher speed corners. We just need the car to steer, and it's understeer for a lot of people. So I imagine we'll see similar problems once again here. But we'll see. Safety car doesn't look like it's coming at the end of this lap just yet, but I guess we'll find out in a sec now. It should come at the end of this lap. Doesn't need to be another lap of this, does there? But yes, here we go. Didn't think so. So it will speed off, and Captain Chubbs is up to him this time to dictate the pace. Oh, more overtake on the safety car, guys. Come on now. Anyways, it's up to him to dictate the pace, and well, once we do, we can go race. Of course, don't forget that Yarm is on a different tyre to Thomas. So Thomas being in front is fairly substantial. But again, the longer this works, the longer this goes on, the more this works towards Yarm. I have to say, with this rain possibly coming. Oh, more collisions, guys. Anyways, oh, Captain Chubbs, a bit of a slide here out of the last corner. But here we go then. We're racing again. Had to force Kieran Trapp to back off then. And through the first corner, ooh, almost contact between Kieran Trapp and Thomas. See if Yarm could try and take advantage. I think the rain is here, as Tom pushing Yarm, then Tom pushing down the inside. So the rain is here. See how long it takes for it to really take effect. Sygate sway, swapping positions there, but it's all pretty tight as they head down towards turn 6. The hairpin. Kieran Trapp on the outside. Thomas, he goes for the inside line early on the brakes, decide to get out of that, and Yarm goes wide. Sygate sway against, trying to swap places. Sygate. And there's all sorts of cars. Oh, the 2 McLarens getting involved. 3 wide. It's the Sauber and Renault joining the fray as well. So the rain is here. Now, how quickly will it be before it all takes place? This is great news for Kieran Trapp and Captain Chubbs, of course, yet to make a stop sway, trying to pick his way through. Oh, a little bit of contact. Also, from the outside. As Thomas hustling and harrying Kieran Trapp, whose tyres, of course, will not be in great shape. But there is an end in sight for Chubbs and Kieran Trapp, as the rain is now here. And all sorts of action going on. Team C Corbett around the outside of his teammate, unsafe release. Nice move from him. Oh, and Jan trying to stick his car in there as well. And he gets through, so bold driving from Jan, but he got through, and unsafe release coming into the pits. He may have some wing damage. He's definitely understeering a bit through. Seems to be that second to last corner with Rick. You can see going wide. Time penalty for him, so a couple of guys driving into the pits. Big shot at might be just serving as drive-through penalty. See if intermediates, wow, that's early. That's very early for an unsafe release. No wing change it seems, so he's just in and out. Timing screens would be important to look at here. As Ripper Rick, he's got to keep it behind him, try and get by Tom Pretty. See, try and file in Jan side by side with Joe. Of course, Jan on the softs, it's actually worked out pretty well for him. All things considered, but say drag race then, side by side heading up towards turn 7. Who's going to yield? Jan's ahead for now. Joe has to file in, and Ripper Rick and Dekeepa. Oh, looks like, and Tom Pretty's there as well, and Dekeepa has swooped through. So good stuff from Dekeepa. Maybe a mistake from Ripper Rick and Tom possibly, but they are through. And what's the situation then? Rain is coming down. I want to see the timing of the lead car, because see where things are at this first lap then. 3/10 slower, that is not close enough to be thinking about a switch to inters just yet, so unsafe release will be losing barrels of time. The track will be getting increasingly wet. Actually, let me go back to Chubbs, see what his splits are through the first sector. So yeah, we're not close enough yet to make the switch, because if anything, people are going quicker through sector 1 so far, if the time screens are to be believed, as Thomas then looking to try and get the move done with the DRS now enabled. Down the inside, always going to go deep, and Kieran Trapp will just switch back and take that position back. Thank you very much, he says. Ripper Rick there. Looks like Tom Pretty is through. Psyche just behind him as well. Sway and Jan. Of course, Jan on those softs. That'll be good for this part of the race. Psyche penalty for him. So again, thick and fast, these penalties will fly in. Second sector splits 4/10 down, so again, not nearly close enough it seems to make a stop. Oh, that's a corner cut from Yarm, you have to say. As Jan right behind Ivor Brim Mike, I want to see at the front as the keeper really gets himself into the fray here now. Again, round they go. No one in the front making the gap, the leap just yet. 7/10 of a second for Captain Chumps. 1.5 seconds slower is Kieran Chop in his time, but has to be said, his tyres are a much worse. This is what I was talking about before with degradation versus track evolution with the tyres. Oh, Ripper gone off, he's into the wall, he's out of this race. Oh, and there's another car, Ivor Brim Mike is out as well, and the safety car is out, and this will be the chance everyone's waiting for. Kieran Chop has been overtaken by Thomas. This is the opportunity everyone will take now to dive into the pits onto the intermediate, so very little will change here, but it is so important to be the lead car in this situation. If you are the lead car, you are the first one in, obviously, and you won't be stacked. So Thomas is in a great spot here. Sidegate, not so much. So the race is basically nullified in many ways. I was waiting to see how long it would take before. I think it would have been another, well, maybe let's see even, because they're only, Captain Chubbs was only, that last lap, right, if we just go into it, 16.3, right, as fast as a 15.6. On younger tyres. His time before that, like, the track wasn't getting wet that quickly, so the track could still be 4 or 5 laps out if this is to be continued, like at this pace. So, but the only right move is to go on to intermediates right now, because surely by the time this safety car ends, it will be time for the crossover. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if it wasn't. But the logical thing to do is to pit, I would have thought. But Chubbs, Thomas are going to carry on. They're all going to carry on. Yarm's will come into the pit here, so we've got excellent. We've got split decisions for tyres, excellent. I definitely see where the guys are coming from. I definitely do, because the track wasn't quick, wasn't slow enough to be putting on wets, not even nearly. Like it was only a second a bit out, not even a second for Captain Chubbs in many ways. So, like Kieran Chop is only a second out because his tyres, he's got 19 lap old mediums on, and you have to weigh the difference between the two. But we've got plenty of people into the pits. So this would be fantastic stuff then. What would be ideal if this is a quick safety car, like in and out at the end of this lap would be nice. But yeah, let's see. It's entirely possible, and I really do believe it's entirely possible that by the time the race gets underway again, they still might not be ready for the intermediates. But it's a big. I have to say, if I was racing, I would have pit, because by the time the end of this safety car is a chance. I would say there's a better chance that the track will be ready for wets, and if not, it will take maybe a lap or two after that. So yeah, really interesting. I would have pitted myself, but let's see then how this works out, because 6 drivers at the front here. Big Shotters decided not to come into the pits either for SF Inters. Everyone else then, Big Shotter and then the top 6 are on dries on this rapidly evolving track. Safety car will stay out for this lap at least. But yeah, thrilling race. Really, really good stuff. This is really good stuff. So Yarm? Yeah, Yarm's in a good spot here to keep in a good spot as well. Tom Pretty is as well. If things go as I would probably expect them to, if this safety car with these tyres. Will anyone pivot? Will anyone decide that no, this was a bad idea and I'm going to stay out? They're all going to stay out. Oh, Austin Dude is in, so he's bitten the bullet and said no, not for me. And he's going into the pits to put on a set of intermediates, you would imagine. Chance for Big Shotter to do the same as well, but he's carried on as well. Intermediates go on to that Toro Rosso. So it looks quite heavy now, but the track doesn't look too wet, to be fair. If the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, that'll be really interesting. That'll be really interesting. So yeah, lap 21 of 34. I mean, this race is well, it's come and gone, hasn't it? It's in one sense, we are on our 3rd safety car. On the other hand, it's going to be a sprint to the finish, and there's still a lot to be decided here. So don't forget, penalties will be coming into effect as well. So yeah, plenty to be decided yet. Safety car still out? That's an interesting. Oh, sorry, I thought we were in the stadium section for a second, judging by that helicopter shot. We'll see any second now. if it is coming in or not at the end of this lap. It should be. I'll be shocked if it is staying out. Wow, we've got one more lap of this. Well, that's a little surprising, I must be honest. That's something that these guys at the front, that will not be... Oh, how many crashes have been under safety car tonight? Unbelievable. That's not good news for the top 5. And big shotter on those dry tyres. Each passing moment that track gets wetter and wetter. So one more lap of this then, at the very least. A big shotter then has taken the plunge. And he's going to put on a set of wet weather tyres. Smart decision for him. And tyre of ring change? No, just fresh left. Unsafe release. Of course, he went on early to his inters way too early. But fresh set for him. A big shot on inters as well. And yeah, I mean, I wonder how many of the top 5 are regretting staying out here. We'll see very quickly where it stands with the tyres and the such. But I do wonder if maybe they should have foreseen 3 laps of this. And with the weather, could go either way, but we shall find out very, very soon. We'll find out in a sec, though. We can finally go under green flag conditions again. Hopefully, it'd be nice. Get the show on the road. Oh dear, Joe Corby is spun here under safety car, but he's not. Of a half spin rather under safety car. Thankfully for himself, he didn't lose any positions. That was almost embarrassing. Well, safety car is in this lap. That would have been that would have been very embarrassing had he gone around at these speeds. But again, I think that's kind of a testament to kind of how tricky these conditions will be in the dry. Oh gosh, it's going to be. I'd almost be, be careful of your yarn that you don't hit into the back of one of these guys, because I'm going to guess the inters are the right ones to be on. We'll see. All shall be revealed in a moment. Of course, DRS has not yet been disabled yet. Worth pointing out. I don't believe so anyways, but we are racing once again. And Sway's going into the pits already, so where is Yarm? There he is. You can see how much he's gaining already on this top bunch. So Sway then decided to bite the bullet after safety car. Oh, look at that. So much more later on the brakes is Yarm. You can see they're tiptoeing around. And so this will be easy prey for Yarm. He just has to basically not crash into them. And he is good to go. But he's through on Joe. Joe shouldn't really fight this too much. And you see with the outbreak here on trap. Side by side, Chubbs on the dries against Thomas on the dries. They both go wide. Takipa is trying to make a move on Yarm even as well. Oh, there's all sorts of carnage. But Takipa is through. And looks like he's going to try and take second place off Kieran Chops. So Takipa out of nowhere as Yarm tries to go side by side with Thomas. Takipa's taking second place here. So very, very quickly they managed to dispatch that. I'm surprised, to be honest. But yeah, Joe was dropping like an absolute anvil in water. And this was always the danger. It may have not been the right time to pit when the safety car came in. The track may not have been ready then, but it's certainly ready now. And there is absolutely carnage. Yarm is through. You can see Takipa. Will he get through on the sack squares against Chubbs? Has to play this very carefully, and he is through. And we will see, no doubt, these guys in the dry is diving. Oh, Takipa's got wide. He's into the gravel. And Yarm goes through. And Chubbs goes into the pits. They're all going to file into the pits now. They should. Well, the guys, sorry, they say all. Chubbs, Kieran Trapp, Joe, and Thomas, and that will release everyone else then. So that gamble has not paid off. And now here we go then. So wow, check this out for a potential race. So here we go. So after everything, look at Jan. After everything he's gone through in this race, he's back up into third place, but he's got Tom pretty behind him. And there are still penalties to be handed out here and to be applied. There's an awesome dude on the back of Saige. Saige goes defensive. All about ERS now at this stage. ERS has been disabled, of course. Not sure when it was disabled. Didn't actually see it, but as a Jan trying to go around the outside to keep it, going to go for a switch back. He might do it all. As you can see, awesome dude in Saige there as well, but Jan tucks in behind the German. and Austin hasn't been able to get by Sygate either. Oh, the keeper goes very, very wide, and that has allowed Jan to keep really struggling in these conditions as this rain gets heavier and heavier. And if it gets too heavy, I wonder if we could see some full wets even. But that'd be a bold move. Have to get so much wetter than it currently is to even think about the full wets. So where's that left though? So Sway in 11. So after Sway bit the bullet, he's actually the first ahead of those guys on dries. You can see them very much grouped down there. But he is leading for the Golden Pineapple, it looks like. So Golden Pineapple, for those who don't know, is I learned it off Unsafe Release in Timo. It's 11th place basically. But yeah, look at that, just struggling to get the car turned. There's Unsafe Release. What race he's had? Into 8th place, and there's points. Like, points are going. Like, if you're someone who pitched, made the right choice of strategy, there are points up for grabs. So as chaotic as Big Shot's race has been, a few drive-throughs, all that, he's still in 9th place. Not sure if he's got another penalty to serve though. A drive-through. I'm sure he would have got a chance to do it before. Oh, Silas made a mistake and sways through. I'm sure he would have been able to serve it before the other safety car came in, because you can't do it under safety car conditions. But yeah, pretty wild race as we head into the last 10 laps. Yarm is leading 1.4 seconds ahead of Jan. He's got to keep it for company behind him. Tom Pretty, Sygate, Awesome Dude, Alibaba, Unsafe Release, and even Big Shot, all pretty much in close company. A bit of an unstable exit for Alibaba, but nothing Unsafe Release can do, at least for the time being. He's got good overspeed as he head into the Sachs curve, but not willing to risk a dive down the inside and damage a front wing. Here's a nice little shot. You see the wind torpedoing across the track, carrying the rain with it. As Kieran Chaps got by Silas as well, so they have to try and get by this Ferrari. Could prove problematic, but we'll find out. So we begin lap 26 of 34. And really, at this stage, penalties are being the deciding factor here, as Awesome Dude, speaking of. So really, who has kept the penalties away? Was he on flag in Sector 3? I think it's Joe, and he's had to come together with Captain Chubbs, it looks like, who's diving into the pits. And they both dive into the pits then, so not good for Joe today. There's a good chance that Yarm extends a big lead on him in the championship as Chubbs retires from this race into the pit lane. But for now, at least, you can't say anyone's really won this race because they're all tight enough. You can see the gap. There they are, less than 10 seconds separating the top 9. So if you've got your penalties cut down, it really could be anyone's race. See how much separation can be gained on these last 8 laps or so, if any. Because Yarm isn't exactly pulling away, is he? He's 1.4 ahead of Jan. He's got to keep it not far behind him either, so it's all pretty close. And should there be one last twist for the safety car, it could get even closer as well. But this is probably the closest battle we've got here. It's between Alibaba, so it's the Sygate, also doing Alibaba, and Unsafe Release. As they all try and see, in the West it's difficult to try and make an overtake because this is where obviously the skill comes out, but obviously the DRS goes away, so you don't have that straight line speed, and everyone's got, a lot of people have ERS from obviously saving on the safety car, so it's tough to try and make a move around here. You just have to hope for a good run or a mistake. Bit of a twitch there for Alibaba as we got Thomas getting by through size through turn 1. Now it's him into 12th place. So not been the best race for the pole sitter, but a lot has happened, to be fair. So slow down again for the hairpin, a bit tougher in these conditions. A bit more separation now happening at the front. You can see, oops, front 1. See the gap is increasing a bit now, but still under 10 seconds covering the top 9. But just a bit of separation, I think, amongst the top 5, more so amongst each other. Again, Yarm isn't pulling away from anyone, like he's not tearing away, but they've all kind of established that kind of second kind of range now. Obviously here is the closest battle, Sygate ahead of Awesome Dude, Alibaba and Unsafe Release. So I think a mistake and then penalties after that are going to be the deciding factor here, but still have time. I would still, the rain is still coming down pretty heavily, but I would still think we're going to see Inter to the end. I'd be amazed if someone made the plunge to take wets, but you'd have to gain a lot of time. Like there had to be a lot of time. Like it'd have to be. To be fair, it looks like there is heavy rain, but the track had to be absolutely saturated. You had to gain so much more time on the wets to even make up that amount of time in the pit stop at this, at this time. At this stage, you just go to the end. You just limp to the end, no matter what the tyre difference is. But I don't think we'll get there. So this is how it's going to be. Need 2 seconds in the gap that Yaram has on Jan, and I have to say the ERS he's managing quite nicely. So you have to say he's probably got a bit more pace that he could call upon as Yaram if he really needed to. Maybe he should do as well, because I'm not sure what the penalty situation is. As again, more racking up. He might need 3 seconds, Yaram, but we shall see. He hasn't got 3 seconds on to keep it either, so worth keeping an eye on for sure as he rounds the last 2 turns. Infamous drag strip, of course, where so many were taking casualty in the real race. His gap is 2.1 seconds now ahead of Jan. To keep it, kind of holding it in that 8/10, 9/10 range. Keep it on the limit there. Unsafe release, getting very close to Alibaba. The rain definitely coming down hard. See, you can keep it in control. Alibaba, I have to say, Alibaba has been struggling. He hasn't really looked on top of that car in these conditions. He's kept it in a straight line, but it's got away. It looks like it's been threatening to get away from him. And now he is under pressure now from unsafe release. But he's got everything he needs to in terms of ERS to try and fight back. To keep it getting close as well, but not close enough. Will unsafe release go for the move? Alibaba has always missed it completely. And there you go. Steakweek obviously gets a better run with a wider line. Dangerous to keep your car on the inside here in the rain, and he has to cede the position. He's got a few seconds back to Big Shotter behind him. Try and fight back even. Can he do it on the outside? Oh, it's beautiful. What a move from Alibaba. But can he hold it heading into the stadium section? It's going to be contacting between the two. No. So that would look like he just lost it completely. Alibaba takes back 7th place from unsafe release, but their squabbling is allowing Big Shotter to creep further into the fray here. It's getting closer meanwhile between, well, it was getting closer between Jan and Dekeepa, and then obviously Austin beating Sygate as well. So all to play for. Few positions left up for grabs here. Obviously penalties name the game now as the rain thunders down here in Germany. But holding it together. And actually, I think Yarm's lost a bit of time here, but he has got a lot of ERS to burn. And no point leaving yourself with it. You might as well use it all. Like, if you've got ERS, you may as well use all of it. You can use a lot more in the wet than you can in the dry. So there's no real point, holding on to reserves. It's not going to do any good come the end of the race. It's there to be used, and a lot of people just need to just use it now at this stage. Especially Yarm at the front, who, could extend a bit more of a gap. If you can get 3 seconds on the keeper, he's definitely safe, no matter what happens. And it's close. He's just around that 3-second range. So close. He's got another 4 laps to do it. But that's something he needs to achieve. There's a Red Bull going wide. That'll be Alibaba. Down the inside later on the brakes this time is unsafe release, and he is through. And Big Shot will be creeping into contention here as well. So unsafe release is through then. Again, that car has threatened to get away from Alibaba so many occasions. This time it has done, and it has cost him P7 here, at least for the moment. As meanwhile, Austria continuing to put the pressure on Sygate. That's for 5th place. Oh, we've got people into the pits. Wow. In the points, mind you, as well. Big Shot and Alibaba are coming into the pits. And this for a set of full wets. This is bold. They were firmly into the points. Let's see where they emerge. Wets for Big Shot as well. Where is Thomas? Thomas coming in as well. So wow. So they'll still be in the, well, Alibaba will still be in the points, but Big Shot, who was in the points, is now out of the points. They have 4 laps, including the one they're on these wets. That could be a big decision there. See how much time they make up, because they're over 10 seconds. Well, Big Shot is over 10 seconds behind now. Behind Kieran Trapp in 9th place, where he originally was. So I wonder if anyone else will pit then. See the times Adibaba is doing, and he's losing time if anything. So maybe the recommended strategy. Jeff came on and said we need to change, but at the moment they are not really making any time, and they've thrown away points here. It looks like to have made the right decision to switch to wets under the state lag. Is unbelievably wet though. Holy crap, that is extremely heavy. But why would you come in at this stage? There's no point. There's only a few laps left. You'd have to be absolutely sure you're going to gain back those positions you just pitted, and I don't think they're going to do that. They're too far back. Like, it's 11 seconds back. They're not going to get those positions back. So they've thrown away good points there, and Big Shota has thrown away points. As Adibaba, he's round, and Big Shota will get back into the points by virtue of that. Adibaba, it just wasn't working for him. Maybe Big Shota had better pace on these wets than Adibaba. He's just struggling. He's 12.6 behind Kieran Trapp. See if he can make it any time. I mean, it looks smooth enough. Austin has to get out of the throttle there. So a bit more separation is being created now. You can see big gap then between, not big gap, but 2.7 between Yarm and Jan to keep us falling a bit further back of that as well. So, but it is definitely, I think the right tire to be on, I'm sure, is the wet. But just with being so close to the end, Sunset Felice goes very, very wide. Can he hold it? Sways there, and he's struggling. So the definite right tire to be on is the full wet for sure. But with only a few laps to go, just makes, unless you're losing, are you losing 25 seconds or so, 22 seconds in these 3 laps that you decide not to pit upon wets? I don't think so. As Yarm starts the second to last lap. It's looking good, and he's got the 3-second margin that he needs. His pace has been good in these wets, as Jan gets a 3-second penalty now as well. As Joe gets by Silas there for P13. Yeah, still 13 seconds between Big Shota and Kieran Trapp. Oh, it's come down half a second there, but again, you have to hope that the time made is coming off of a mistake, because the tyres just can't handle the conditions. See if Austin Dude. Thomas is out of this race from P12. With only a few laps to go, there's going to be no safety car for that. If that came 2 laps earlier, that would have been really interesting. But not to be, as Tom Pretty is here as well in front of Sygate. They're all pretty close. To be fair, this one has been a nightmare for strategy. So it has. So let's sum this up then. Kieran Trapp and Captain Chubbs ultimately made the right decision to stay out on their tyres and not pit. That ended up being the correct decision. The next correct decision after that, they should have pitted for intermediates when that safety car came out. So no one's got all the choices right. Yarm's probably come the closest. He begins his final lap. Yarm's probably come the closest by pitching onto those mediums. They lasted. As a yellow flag at sector 3. And it's for Adibaba. He's in them all once again. Yeah, probably Yarm's got the one. Is probably the one that's got the most choices right here today, I'll have to say, to keep us from pretty close as well. But yeah, difficult one to get right today. And no one really did. Again, Yarm probably came close as he's leading the race. So there's a car going slowly. Not sure who it is, but Sway here looks. We got an overtaking going on. Hello, Sway on the inside. Check by unsafe release. It's true with the last bit of action on track. He's gone deep. He has. They've both kind of gone deep. Where is Yarm? He's not close enough yet. Unsafe release stays ahead for the time being, but Sway was definitely putting pressure. I think unsafe release may have had a off there. But look at Awesome Dude, Sygate, Tom Pretty, they're all still right there. As Yarm then entering Stacks Curve one last time. He's got it right today, you'd have to say, I have everyone here. And so Sway is through side by side. But looks like Sway is through as Yarm rounded the final corner. So the brilliant drive from him. And a big day for him. He wins, at least for now, the German Grand Prix. Will anyone take over No, it looks like so. Jan in second to keep it then in third after penalties are all applied. Tom Pretty then come across the line. We finish fourth. But Sygate will jump him into fourth place. Tom Pretty fifth. Awesome Dude in sixth. Unsafe Leagues will finish in sixth and then gets bumped down from sixth as Sway finishes sixth. And Kieran Trapp on penalties will bump Unsafe Leagues down to eighth place. Ninth place will be Awesome Dude. And well, he only lost 1 point in the end of the decision to switch to wets. But Big Shotta will pick up another point there in 10th. Oof, probably the worst day you can imagine for Joe Corboy. He has to go pick up the golden pineapple here, and no points. We got fastest lap actually. Oh, Yarn, wow, yeah, not a good day for Joe at all. He will finish in 11th place. Alibaba 12th, and Silas then will come across to finish in 13th place. 13 finishers in the end of that crazy race. Sagi was only 2/10 off of a podium there in the end. Yeah, wow, what a race. That was yeah, Genie Mac, what a race. But this racing point of Yarm, take a top step. Fantastic result for him. He now builds a big lead. Well, not big lead, because of course, ultimately, one bad race can all disappear. But he builds a safer lead at the top of the standings. Good race for Jan. That was a crazy race. He ended up here, there, everywhere, really. Soft tyres, though, just before the stage car ended up working out a treat for him. Even if not ideal, because he get to replace a wing as well. A race of what could have been for so many people. But there you go. To keep it was penalty free in the end. So there you go. And so was Joe, but that didn't matter in 11th place. So Yarn then in first, ahead of Jan in second. To keep it in third, Sygate in fourth, Tom Brady fifth, Sway in sixth, Kieran Chap seventh, Unsafe Fleece in eighth, Awesome Dude in ninth. Big Shot then rounds out the top 10. Just one penalty for him after all his drive-through nonsense. Mayhem rather. Joe Corby 11th, Alibaba 12th, and Silas then in 13th place. Who got the most penalties in the end? Just out of curiosity. My throat's been going here for a while, so it is Silas with 14. Anyways, that is going to do it for round number 11 of Division 2 in Hockenheim. Next up, Division 1 boys. We'll should have their crack at it as well. If I have everything correct, I believe they are the next ones. Yeah, on Monday, Division 1 will duke it out around this, carnage track. Brilliant track, and again, it's proved another fascinating race once again. But that's going to be it. Thanks very much for watching, and until next time.